Hello viewers, a brand new Need for Speed is upon us. Unbound is here. Let's take our character into the online and see what's up. So let's find a game, let's jump in and let the chaos ensue. In this first race we're going to go for the Nissan Skyline. It's one of the first cars that you can choose in multiplayer. Up against whoever that is. The GOAT? Is it the GOAT? Look at my guy there, wearing the meme glasses. He's not taking this too seriously. But let's jump into the first race. My first ever online race in Need for Speed Unbound. Immediately challenging the second place as we head into turn 1, and we've crashed into oncoming traffic quite quickly. So quite an awful start to my Need for Speed career, must be said. So let's try to regain our composure here. It's a long race, and there's no need to panic just yet. We've got time to try to undo the damage. Now coming through here, this guy decides he's just going to drive into a wall, which is quite useful if you're stuck behind someone. I wasn't really stuck behind him, but it's always useful when your opponents, you know, just crash into walls for you. I was trying to escape the attention of the Golf behind, which I failed in doing because they got the DRS detection point there. Managed to fly back past me. Now on the finish line, it was quite a close finish between the two of us. Now in this next race, we're going to try and go a little bit better here. We've got P3 in our first one. Incredible duel between myself and the Golf here into turn 1. And look at that, into the lead. Sensational driving. Now, this moment here was rather peculiar. I literally push a guy into a shop, and I can't say that's a line I've said before. I literally hit the apex and pushed someone into the store. Anyway, I was having a bit of a tough time. Well, firstly trying to avoid getting murdered by this guy, but also the physics feel a little bit clunky, I'd say, at slow speed. But we're trying to get used to it, trying to adjust, especially through this tight little chicane here. The car goes into a drift and I didn't really want it to. So just trying to adjust to that, being my main problem. My second problem is driving into the back of taxis like that. And do forgive me for this, guys. I tried to turn into this guy and push him into a van, and I failed. So I am a shameful rammer. It turns out apparently we are all driving Skylines, but that doesn't look like a Skyline to me unless it's super heavily modified. Anyway, in the third and final race of this championship, I hit the apex at turn 1, and then a lap later, when I was quite a long way in fourth place, the top 3 all decided to turn left on a straight. And given my experience of motorsport, that's not actually ideal. So what that meant was I went flying past the 3 of them from 4th up to 1st in one fell swoop. Incredible scenes. And it brings about my first ever win.
He's done it! Get in there, Lewis. Miracles do happen, mate.
Incredible scenes here. It was only good enough for 2nd overall in the championship, but that's not too bad for an absolute rookie. Now, I did a 5,000 point turn there, and someone suggested an A-class lobby. Now, I don't have an A-class car, so we got loaned an A-class Mercedes in the A-class lobby. Now the guy in the lead there, he had a tuned up Nissan Skyline, so I was fighting against the odds. My strategy in the loan car was to stick behind in the slipstream in DRS range and try to build up the NOS, and it worked pretty well. It worked quite a treat. My second strategy was to wait for your opponents to crash. That also worked. So my top 2 strategies and top 2 tips: stick in the toe, stick in the draft, build the NOS, and then hope that your opponents just decide to hit the walls. And that kind of worked for my first race here. So we kick it off with a win. This second race here, I made a catastrophic decision. The strategy was honestly shocking. It was like I was driving a Ferrari. I went to the right, which was obviously just the wrong decision. Should have gone up the jump, where you can build lots more NOS. And that lost me a couple of seconds, a crucial couple of seconds here. And you can see, as a result of that, I was stuck behind the top two, just couldn't catch up. And ultimately finished P3 out of 3. Sitting there in second place, 2 points off the lead. So we could still win the championship. The incredibly important championship this is. Up against my Mercedes teammate there. Now my race unravelled here, as someone put a warehouse in the way. And I drove into it, as you can see, writing off my car. And ultimately crossing the line in a very sorry P3 once again. A very sad state of affairs. As you can see, I'm very upset about it. But moving on to the next one, someone suggested an S-Class race. Now again, I don't have an S-Class car, but I joined anyway, and they loaned me a Lamborghini Huracan. And we have the most ominous looking car here. Someone driving a Golf with this guy behind the wheel. Hello viewers, Super GT here. But is he any match for Super GT? That's the question. We immediately launched past him with the incredible Lamborghini traction control. The boys back at the factory doing an incredible job there to develop such a sophisticated system. Golf Boy actually comes back at me. Golf Boy, I don't know why that's his name, but it is now. So sitting here in P2, up behind the Nissan GTR. Now we actually, again, using our strategy of sticking in the toe and building our NOS, kind of do him around the outside, sell him for chips, make him look very silly there, and take the lead of the race. This is just incredible in the lone car. I mean, this isn't even my car. I'm sure the rental company, they're probably not too happy with me racing the rental, but when I say that I won the race, then I don't think they'll mind. So into the final corner of the race, and it was quite a close one, to be fair. They gave me a good battle right to the end, but there were no match for the Lamborghini Huracan. And look at the disrespect from that driver there, just showing everyone else who's boss. So 10 points on the board after the first race. We move on to race number 2, and my traction control system wasn't working. Absolutely shocking launch there. Really quite horrendous. I should be ashamed of myself. But once again, our strategy is, well, just sit in the toe. Now this was really weird here, right? Watch the Nissan GTR. He's going to be involved in an absolutely catastrophic collision with traffic. Boom, sent to the Shadow Realm. Now I take this corner pretty badly, to be fair, but all of a sudden the GTR just re-emerges, and I mean, what is going on there? This guy can respawn from the Shadow Realm. That's the first recorded case of that I have ever seen. Someone literally getting sent to another dimension, and then it didn't really affect them. Now the Golf turned right on a straight. Not ideal. I tried to kill this guy. Bang! He just wouldn't die. He was literally invincible. He might be the final boss, because here he comes back and he kills me. Look at that. Incredible stuff. Now, courtesy of that death, I actually finished this race in P4 out of 4. So the final... Oh my goodness, my character driving straight into a barrier. But look how close the points were, right? 1 point in it between 4 of us. This is the guy to beat. The guy in the Nissan GTR, my arch rival. We've got to beat them all, but he's the one to beat, as he is the one who murdered me in the previous race. So let's see what we can do around this track, whatever the hell it is. I don't know. Rapid transit. So we're going onto the train tracks, and this is, I mean, the FIA have got to have a look at this, because there's a train on the track. That would be unacceptable in Formula 1. So we really do have to change that. I mean, I don't write the safety rules, but that surely isn't legal. Now, this guy thought he was a train, so he jumped off onto the tracks. And this is where I got sent to the Shadow Realm for the second time by this guy. Now, thankfully, I managed to just about cling on to life and regain my composure and jump back into the race. And my mission really wasn't to win. It was just to hunt down this guy. There's a train on the track, on the track again. They really have to do something about this. Probably should just bring out the safety car, but we're going to try and catch up with our arch nemesis. He is a good 400 feet in front. Now, the Golf driver, you know, I bigged him up at the start, but he was actually quite trash, if I'm being completely honest. But after a lap of very hard work, I was putting in the effort, I managed to track down my arch nemesis and put him into the Shadow Realm once and for all.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
So I absolutely murdered him, but what on earth has gone on here? He's re-emerged in the lead, 200 yards in the lead. He's around the corner already. What? So I hit him, smashed him into another dimension, and I hit him so hard I hit him ahead of time. I hit him forward in time, and he emerged way out in the lead. So that was really strange. Maybe I was too good at punting. I punted him too far ahead. And it was my quest, therefore, to catch up once again, try to hunt him down, and bring justice to the world, avoiding a lorry very narrowly there. But sadly, it proved to be an obstacle too far, because at the end of the race, I was not able to do it, finishing in a very sad P2. My arch nemesis there taunting me on the podium. He came back from the Shadow Realm to show me who's boss. Look at him. He didn't even have a banner selected. That just shows you how much of a phenomenon this guy is. I tried to get over it in the next session, but I just could not drive this 4GT. I was absolutely distraught from my previous loss. I in fact rage quit that session. And I was determined to bring victory and honour back to my name in this Mercedes AMG, which I tuned up to the top of S-Class. I even gave my character a makeover, bought him some new shoes and removed the sunglasses. You could clearly see the determined eyes of my character. He was not going to lose or settle for second any longer. We were ready to go into battle once more. I then drove to the next car meet. I arrived in style, as you can see. But sadly, no one wants to play S-Class. I started a session, and it seems that no one really likes S-Class. So cue the sad piano music once again. There we go, not enough players. It's that moment when you're surrounded by people, but you're extremely lonely. So what I felt I had to do was quite an extreme measure. It really is. I added an AR-12 sticker to my banner, and thankfully what that did was, well, actually it changed my fortunes entirely, because I suggested another S-Class session, and as you can see, it filled up very quickly. Very, very quickly indeed. So there's a simple hack to this game. Just add yourself the AR-12 sticker and boom. Now let's go into this first race in the Mercedes. We joined the Mercedes factory team alongside Lewis Hamilton and George Russell in their street racing division. Now that guy was very brave, didn't want to move at all. And we're going to try and command this race from pole position. We set a fantastic dominating time in the qualifying session the day before. Put ourselves on pole position for the Need for Speed Grand Prix here. And we're going to try to pull away, command the race from the front, but we actually smashed into a BMW. Once again, the FIA have to look at this. Crossroads on the circuit, it's just not on really, is it? It goes against the safety principles that the FIA have worked so hard to achieve over the years. Now into the second race. Once again on pole, courtesy of our win at the first round. We get an awful start off the line there, and we get overtaken by the Nissan factory driver there. We're going to try to overhaul him in the S-Class car. Now my strategy really was build a car in a class that no one actually likes, aka S-Class, and then they all have to use loan cars, and then also crash into the bottom of a advertising board. So you know, I've been using the loan cars throughout, and that is the difficulty you have at the beginning of Need for Speed because, well, the loan cars aren't that great. The Lambos are right, the rest aren't. I don't mind that actually, to be fair. You know, a bit of a grind in the game, but I'm kind of okay with that. I grinded to get this Mercedes, and you know, it's paying dividends now as we're leading the race once more. And halfway through this race, I even felt like being quite charitable by crashing into a tree and giving the opponents a bit of a chance. But ultimately, the Mercedes car, there's only one thing that stopped me really, and that would be Latifi crashing into a wall and a late safety car. But thankfully there wasn't one, as we finished the race in the lead, a commanding 4-point lead at the top of the championship here, going into the final round. We're back at Rapid Transit, we're back at Abu Dhabi. Let's see if we can do it. Now, I felt like trolling this guy. He was my closest rival. Just brake check him for no reason. I mean, you get rewarded for ramming people in this game. So I mean, there's actually nothing bad about what I just did there. But anyway, heading in towards turn 1. Luckily, there isn't a train on the circuit this time around. But I have lost quite a few positions here. Trying to get used to the grip physics of this car. I really wanted to make a grip car rather than a drift car. Just to really get used to that. Now, back into P4, up behind P3. These two guys going hammer and tong here on the final corner of lap 1. Once again, building up the NOS reserves by sitting in the slipstream. It was quite an OP strategy. It's basically Uber DRS. And while the train came back in force here, I tried to drive into that gap, it didn't work. And then I got reset. Now, getting reset is actually quite OP because I was actually kind of almost still in the lead. And I barely lost any time. So they've got to take a look at that maybe. In fact, I literally reset someone further ahead than what they were earlier in this video, so it just shows you getting reset. Now this guy tried to ram me into a truck, and that, well, the sportsmanship was not quite there, should we say. But then again, I've been brake checking people, so I mean, I can't really talk. Anyway, I go back past him and hunting for the race win here, race lead. Once again, using the overpowered strategy of building the NOS. Look at the speed, 184 miles per hour. Back onto the train track. Will there be a train here in towards the first corner? No. We're back in the lead though. We're back where we belong in the Mercedes. And from here, to be honest, guys, it was quite an easy and commanding win. And I think I did everything I had to. Once I tuned up a car that I felt was good in a class that I was happy with, it was quite a commanding and easy victory. And it might mean that I'm the GOAT of Need for Speed, but I think we might have to make a second video. Let me know if you want to see a second video of this, and I'll make one. But there we go. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day. There's a video on the screen right now. Go and click that one and watch that, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.